introduce myself for all those who don't know me. My name is Kinjal Rajpriya, and I'm an actor, and I have been working in Gujarati films for last almost 5 years. So you can say, okay, yes, in the last parallel 5 years, I've been also trying to make a mark and create an impact on all the social media platforms. So, as most of you are aware of, that today what we're talking on is how to create a brand on social media and how to be an influencer there. Anyways, uh, hello. I think there was a glitch, right? I could hear my voice back. Anyways, yes, as I said, I've been in this business since 5 years, and parallelly, I've tried to make an impact. And yes, I think that's pretty much about me. Also, I am no guru to talk and teach about social branding, but just an influencer like a lot of us around, trying to share my story. So, I would like to begin my story by sharing a small flashback. Well, so as a child, I was taught to observe the fact that anything that creates an impact on us helps us learn and grasp that thing faster. Okay, so I think that's how social media, that's how being an influencer on social media helps us as well. Uh, so I believe worth writing or something, or write something worth reading again and again. That is what is like how you create to reach out to the bigger audiences. As the times have changed, so has the ways of creating such impacts. Now, one thing that as an influencer I have learned and understood is that to do something to create an impact, it is very important that the content has the potential to go viral, or you gotta write something that is worth retweeting. ठीक है, सो डूज कुछ ऐसा करो जो वायरल हो सके, या तो कुछ ऐसा लिखो जो रीट्वीट हो सके. So this is the, I think, the basic qualification of being an influencer. And one of those ways to achieve this are what we are going to talk about and how. Don't you think that amongst all of us, when you scroll your social media pages, when you stalk other profiles, 8 out of 10 is the general survey that I've observed. 8 out of 10 people from us are the influencers on social media. Strategies of my tricks to become and to create an engagement strategy with the social family. So let's dive right into the first story, and that is 5 years to becoming a brand. I have been in this industry for about 5 years, as I mentioned earlier. From my first movie, Chello Divas, to now becoming a household name and a brand that represents Gujarat in some way. It has been a journey of conscious decisions and understanding the market. Yes, I really want you to note these 2 points down, and it is very important to make the decisions consciously and to understand the market at every point, and it also changes with time. So initially, I took like say 2 years to mark my place in Gujarati film industry as a performer, as an actor. After that, I started taking efforts to become a face of Gujarat. So I am talking about the year 2016. Well, not many were in that race, to be very honest. Not many in Gujarat were working towards the concept of being a brand ambassador. So, initially in this journey, which I even practice now, I started endorsing the local designers. The idea was to promote the local artists and designers, It was, let's say, sort of a barter deal. While I endorsed their apparels or products, I got the chance of being the regional face of Gujarat. Also, eventually, more companies came in and I entered the paid partnership market. Slowly, I reached where I wanted to by the year 2019. So that's almost, say, 3 years. I did what I aimed for. I became the face of Gujarat on a national level when a big MNC brand like Kalyan Jewelers approached us. Uh, and then it has been an upward curve since then. Also, for these 3 years, I have focused only on one thing, and that is making Kinjal Rajpriya a brand. And that is what we are here to share, and that's why I'm here to, inspire that and inspire you guys to, if you could pick up the points from the whole story. So yes, so for 3 years, as I said, I focused on making Kinjal Rajpriya a brand. And this was a very parallel hero in my journey till now. Of course, the films were the hero number one in my case. So now my strategies have changed, the way I brand has changed. But something that hasn't changed a bit is the selectiveness, is the brands I let in, is the products I choose to associate with. After all, the trust in the product that we show is very important. Also, I have always endorsed all all of the brands or each of the products once they are tried and tested, like either by me or my team. The reason is I am very much sure कि आप लोग सभी would be very familiar with that घड़ी detergent का slogan. ठीक है, and that goes like पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. So I guess this a strategy like that really works, and it has worked for me. And so, coming back, after all, the bottom line is the trust in the product is really important. Because now I wanted to be convinced of what I'm selling. Basically, when you are a social influencers, you can I call all of us social sellers. We are salesmen of the social virtual world. So the conviction and that conviction makes the endorsements more real and raw. And trust me, people are really attracted to the rawness and the truth in your branding. So I think when I began, I was advised to spend money in garnering the followers, getting those extra thousand likes that almost all the followers are keen about, and a lot of things which could have made my profile look bigger. But on the contrary, I planned to invest the money in making the content more interactive and better. I've always invested my money and time in creating the content rather than getting the paid popularity. I tell you how it helps. So I would like recommend putting or investing your money into the apps that we can buy on the store on the OS. What happens is you get a free access to creating some beautiful videos and to putting some effects and whatnot. So I guess that investment, that monetary investment, was very important, and that is it. Until and unless you deliver the product well, I think our job is almost done there. And then I guessed my raw and personal content did bring the popularity that I had aimed for. Now, before advancing into a deeper talk over this, I want to give out my two tricks that I've been following always. And the first trick is to be unique. Learn to make an impact on your influencers in the terms of followers or fans and loyalists, if you can say so. And the second trick, which is a very important trick, is to learn the art of good storytelling. So I think the art of good storytelling is very important because it's a brand, a product, or also just an idea. but any of it can just be made unique by how you present it. Let me give you a very small example on this. So, for example, let's say that I am to brand a watch, like okay, on my social media accounts.
Yeah.
Now, if at all we think of an idea of clicking a picture of a watch when it rains heavily, but the focus is on watch, that it itself delivers the fact that the watch might be what. Now, the my idea is to deliver the same content with, but just with a pinch of creativity that enforces you, which might not be direct, but it enforces you to think that there is something which is not ordinary about this post. Because यार बारिश में खड़े रह के ऐसे घड़ी का फोटो कौन निकालता है? So,
Got it.
so I guess by the two tricks, being unique and also the art of good storytelling stand a very, very, very important stance on the game.
True.
Also, uh,
So, are
okay,
you able to hear me,
I
Kinjal?
think
Sorry, guys. Yeah, you are audible. We will take a few questions and see you later. Just wait for a second. If you have any questions, please send in the message questions box that you have. I think Rudra has already asked questions. And Anas has asked a question. We will be taking next question and see later. That happened many questions. We will have only been very asking technical issues. Technology at the end. That's what we do. Just to summarize what you were trying to say for now, and really try to people. Okay,
yes.
please back. Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm really, really sorry. I don't know what is taking the glitch to happen so often.
yeah. Kinjal, can we take few questions?
Sorry.
Can we take few questions in the middle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? Bring it on.
Okay. Yeah. So Rudra has a question. So
All right.
you can also check the questions in the question segment on the right hand side.
All right.
Yeah. So the first question is there. He posted at 6:20 on the top.
All
So
right.
do you
All
believe
right.
actors as celebrities or influencers should be accountable for any endorsements that they do? So there was a case against Amitabh Bachchan also while he was promoting Maggie and
Right.
those kind of things. So do you
Right.
think accountability is there on the part of influencers also whenever such things happen?
I think there is, but depending upon see, as I said earlier, that I am at the stage where I have begun to become big. Okay,
Yeah.
so right now, and with the mantra that whatever you do, you need to trust the product that you endorse. So, for example, I'm never going to endorse any beauty product, say a face cream, until and unless I have tried it for myself. So just in case, if even if it was unintended to yeah, that we happen to be in the box of taking that accountability on our heads, we can still be a part of it, saying that okay, I was a part of it too. It was not something that I didn't try and I was asking and recommending you to buy it.
Got it. Because a lot of time what happens is influencers are there, they are paid for something, and then
Mhm.
you see a lot of tweets tweeted from iPhone about Samsung Galaxy S8, S9, and those kind of things. A lot of people
Right,
have been caught in that way also, and
right,
then there
right.
is a lot of backslash as an influencer that what are you doing? And then one week you see for 15 days somebody is promoting Oppo, the new phone which
Mhm.
Oppo has, and in the next 15 days you see them promoting a new phone from Vivo. So,
Right.
what is your take on those kind of things? Whenever such things
See, see, basically, whenever I associate with a brand, I have always, and that's not only brand. I also mean people and any association that happens with me. I look onto two things and I put two things into a very prime focus, and that is the longevity that is about to happen, and the exclusivity of the bond that has to happen. So sometimes it's okay to not want everything, but just master the thing that you are selling. For example, if I speak for myself, I have okay. Am I audible? I think
yeah,
I got disconnected. Okay, fine, cool. So yes, I have done multiple collaborations as well, and we've been endorsing multiple brands as well. But the point is that being an influencer, my job is to help the manufacturers to sell the product because of the following I have. Now, for example, I cannot switch my phones. Nobody can switch their phone every 15 days. But what do you do if actually there are the companies they are flushing in because they want you to endorse their brands. So what you do in that case is you try and test their device first. For example, if people say that we have this clarity of pictures that you take in our camera, या इसमें इतना GB data है, इसका speed ये वो. So whenever you do all that, take a test drive or of the entire headset. You can always demand the brand to let you use it for a day or two, right? So that way that वो लोग जो sell कर रहे हैं वो honest है, उनका strategy honest है. So then I'm talking about the same thing that the brand wants to endorse. But then it is never going to be possible for me to do 10 days to do for Oppo and 10 days फिर अगर अभी मैंने Samsung ले लिया, अभी मैंने iPhone लिया. But being an influencer, all you need to do is stick to the ethics of your marketing strategy. And my strategy says is that be as honest as you can. I know exaggeration happens when we do a ad. So but वो exaggeration जहाँ पे मुझे नहीं दिखा है, that itself is घड़ी detergent. What a smart move that वो तुमको ये बोल रहे हैं कि तुम पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो. So maybe the strategy in which you convey your message should be very much close to the truth about your product.
Very true.
Yeah.
There is another question which Anak
Yeah.
has. What was the so? Is there any conscious move that you have taken for becoming an influencer from an actor? So you are an actor currently, but
Yes.
there are a lot of actors who are not so active on social media. They just concentrate on their acting assignments. And was there a conscious effort that you made, or you got followers and then you started out? Okay, let us do this. Explore this part also.
Yes, so I really like this question, whoever has asked it. So what happened was, as I said, that when I began my journey 5 years back, after Chello Divas, after my first film, and that was a Gujarati film, the stakes of my name and popularity zoop karke went up to the level which I never had seen. Okay, so what happened was suddenly I have witnessed a journey from say a couple of thousand followers to some many thousand Ks of followers. So now my target was to make a good use of the followers that we have. Because तुम कब तक अपना selfie खींच कर या posting about the regular activities, till how long can you stretch? So again, as I said, the two things that I was always focusing as a professional was the longevity on the major scale, and on the equal major scale was the exclusivity. For example, when I say exclusive, I wanted to make, that was the point when I thought of making Kinjal a brand. Because तुम यार अगर you have 500 Ks and above का followers, so what do you do with them? How do you sustain? Longevity is where it walks in there. That how do you sustain? So the only sustainable resource that I thought in the whole scenario was by influencing people on the social media, by inspiring them, by creating some impact, because you have to take a good use of followers. And as I mentioned that when I started, I don't really think that there were many people on board who thought it too, because we were a bunch of good people who had gained that popularity. But I was very observant about the market, and I didn't see anybody working so vigorously to become a brand. And I think वो लोहा garam था तब, and that's when I thought that it's time to hit it right.
Yeah, very true. I think in Gujarat the market is was also not so much good at that time when you started off 5 years back
Very
or
true.
4 years back. Conscious efforts
Yeah.
towards this thing. So I think
Yes.
first most advantage was always on your part. Okay. So
Yes.
we will take more questions after some time. Maybe Kinjal can continue with
Okay.
her thing. And then we, again after 10 minutes, we will 10-15 minutes, we will take few more
All
questions.
right. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
So Kinjal, your screen is not shared. So if you have something which you want to share, you can always share.
All right. So yes. Okay, so we will come to the two main prime things of being exclusive and being a long-term kakhoda that we can put it. I look at these two characteristics very much before finalizing any of the deals with the brands. My approach towards deciding a brand, towards choosing a brand and becoming a face of a brand is very potential driven. You know, it really happens to us when we start off as influencers कि यार ये ब्रांड का नाम बड़ा है तो बड़ी ब्रांड्स के साथ एसोसिएट करें या वो ब्रांड्स के साथ एसोसिएट करें कि इट इज जस्ट अ स्टार्टअप बिजनेस फॉर देम टू. So I think my idea towards looking at it was that we need to have a very potential driven perception. By that I mean that it doesn't really matter if the brand is big or it has a big name or it has just started. What is important is how much potential do you see in the growth of you yourself while being associated with the brand. So do you see yourself growing? Does the association give you seem so much potential oriented? If yes, I think it is a very good call to proceed with that. Also, long-term associations are only achievable and fruitful if there is a mutual admiration, because this is very important to have symbiotic relationship with your clients. Let me take you again to a small flashback. I think in sixth or seventh standard ka textbooks, we all have read and studied about a symbiotic relationship between a buffalo and a cowbird. So, how the symbiotic relationship goes, I'll just briefly explain. So, while the cows, they wander around the places and the fields eating their food, the cowbirds sit on the buffalo to eat and pick all the ticks they have on their bodies. So that way, the cow gets a good spa and cleaning, and the cowbirds get their food and they get to migrate wherever they go. So I think this is the symbiotic relation I'm talking about here when I associate with brands, because mutual admiration is very necessary. It cannot be that you are getting benefited from it, but you have to also make sure that you can bring something back to them as well. Also, when we talk about exclusivity, we don't only talk about how different the product is, but also how we market it. It is very important to brand it correctly. So my aim still lies to reach up to every house to endorse products, right, starting from a toothbrush and a toothpaste to the high-end products. But what actually makes us exclusive? So now, the first mantra here comes when you do a two-way communication. This two-way communication is uh, um, what when you consider your virtual fan base or followers as your family. Okay, don't don't talk. We are here to communicate. So that is what the idea is when you talk about social media. I see my audiences as my family and a very big family. And hence there needs to be a conversation from both the ends. So one easy way to do this is doing the live sessions on various social media platforms, doing the Q&A stories with them, also replying to the comments, interacting with the followers, and creating communication based presence on all of these platforms. One person who actually inspired me to think this way was Akshay Kumar. I read in an interview about him that what he does even today, being the biggest business mind from the film industry, he makes sure that he responds to every comment that a fan would throw out or a fan would wish him, saying at least thank you. There might not be any punctuation there, but that thank you is equally important as well. And that shows how involved he is with the brands he associates. So yes, and this is a very important ingredient in social media marketing. Though I am still working on replying to every comment that I get and every DMs that I get, but I do read all of them, and I'm being very raw and honest and natural about the whole story sharing. But yes, I actually read everything that reaches up to me. I do lives not just from my account, but I tie up with different brands so that the virtual space, widens. Also, after every live session, this is a very important thing because after every live session, I go back to watching the live again and reading every little comment that I have had, every little, all the number of likes that I've got. So now how is this helpful, is that this exercise, it makes me understand my audience, their expectations, their reactions, and also their behavioral pattern. That behavioral pattern is also very important because not all your posts are going to be, at one particular amount, number of likes. It's going to vary from post to post. So I guess that is how I understood to make a brand which is more exclusive and effective and more, impactful with the audience. So yes, before we begin on to the next story, I guess, do you want to take some more questions in between?
Yeah, sure, sure. So I think Rudra. Okay, Rudra had a question. Should an influencer be versatile about its theme or focus on a particular niche depending on the perceived expertise? So suppose there are a lot of influencers who are focused majorly on food. So we have food
Hmm.
bloggers, we have travel bloggers also.
Hmm.
So they use their own network for just on the purpose of traveling. Or some people
Hmm.
are just focusing on technology and those things.
Hmm.
So what would your take be? So are themes important, or then can be multi-theme person also at a same point?
See, I think every influencer starts have their own way to start up in this journey. Well, my way was I am an actor.
Yeah.
So our films usually reach out to all the houses in the society or of the country or of the region that we live in. So what happens is my idea always was to be global, but I've always started being local. So my idea and funda was very clear that you start local and go global. So now when you talk about this, your range of visibility is limitless. You bring on a wide range for yourself to promote yourself. So I would always believe that view first, as I said, my first hero is my films. The becoming a social influencer is a parallel hero. It happened because my films happened. So I think when I talk about influencing my followers, I always make sure कि यार अगर वो टूथपेस्ट भी है या ज्वेलरी का ब्रांड है या कपड़े हैं या ट्रैवल स्टोरीज है, फूड है, बिकॉज होता ये है कि when you are an actor or a popular face, people want to be with you, be like you. They really follow you. I it is very funny, but I really get questions like, ma'am, what was the lip shade that you were wearing in falana falana photograph? So if my audience can observe me so closely, that means that they are actually following what I do. So now why would I think about limiting myself to doing this or not doing that? So I guess it really depends upon how you start. If you are a food blogger already, try to involve, as many aspects as you can. You bring on new ideas and new subjects and fields to associate on board. Food blogger ho, so you can go to various places. That way you can also travel and you learn, now you have two faces. So I think in this competitive era that we all are in, it is very important to be, or should I say, it is equally important to be the jack of all as it is to be the master of all. So yes.
Okay, great. I think that summarizes it. You have summarized it very well. Other question that we have is from Manav. I think we lost. Yeah. So we have a question from Manav. Should people choose influencer marketing as a core career rather than a side job? Or is it a conscious effort, or most of the times people are doing this as a side hustle?
See, very honestly, speaking about talking about the finance and the numbers and the digit, what
Yeah.
we all are out here to earn or make. I think social influencing, it is always better to take the social influencing as your plan B, except for the fact that you know that you are extraordinarily, impactful and successful in selling your content. For example, if you are already a blogger that is getting you so many of the reach and so much of love and attention from the followers you have, I think you should continue doing it. But in the majority of cases, what happens is somewhere down the line, uh, be a manufacturer of something at least, to endorse multiple things. So for example, if my films and my love for the cinema, my passion for the acting is something that I am really crazy about in my life, but now when you earn a name out of it, it is the right time to strike and to influence the people, because overall, in one line, I think all the world needs is inspiration. We, all of us and many of us would be blessed by being very resourceful, but a lot of people out there are not. So there are so many ways to utilize your social account and your social media, but then I would recommend if it becomes a parallel journey and not the main one, so that sometimes when the competition is fierce, and when it gets too much hard, we do not want to be totally jobless because your post did not sell a pen. That's what my idea is. So you always have something to back up
Oh,
on
that's true.
while this goes running parallelly. Yeah.
Very true. I think a lot of like technical Guruji also has a day job. So most of the people don't know that, but technical Guruji is doing a job just now. I think a year back he was doing a job when he had so many millions of subscribers at his YouTube channel. But he still,
Yes, very true.
yeah,
Very true. Very true.
yeah. So I think this is a very key takeaway that everybody should understand, that we are also from the background where we help brands in social media and those kind of things. Understand that being an influencer is a very difficult job. Either you are a content creator, that is a different genre altogether. So suppose you are
Right.
posting 3 videos of TikTok every day and then you are getting millions of views on those. But that thing takes a lot of time to create. You are seeing
Right.
those 15 seconds or 45 seconds, but they are working, I think, 3-4 hours for that small bit, and they are
Very
uploading
true.
videos a day. So that is the primary thing. So if you want to make that primary thing, then you will have to struggle a lot and you have to invest those number of hours
Yes, and it is not an easy task to keep producing
content.
like such a bulk amount of content every now and then. And I am also very much amused with the whole idea of the TikTokers that is very much in trend these days. Though I do not have an account in there, and that's not basically my forte. But
Yeah,
then, yeah, see, anything that you can sell and anything that can make you big is fine. But then don't ever forget to don't ever forget to focus on the content and the substance that you have in it, because that is something that is that makes you willing to create something better.
very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us take. It was a great question, Mano. I think we.
Thanks, Mana.
Yeah. So Dhagash has a question. What is the first
Mhm.
step of become? What is the first step of becoming an influencer?
Yes, as I said, the first thing that you have to learn before becoming an influencer is you should be able to create an impact. So, creating an impact can be anything. Anything which is not ordinary creates an impact on our heads and in our brains. For example, when we read a book, you are just reading it, you might get, but when you are watching it, you really grasp faster. Why? Because all of your senses, like say your visuals, your ears, everything are really driven towards the impact that you're watching. So I guess how to create an impact is a very important tool, and it's completely okay to not be humorous at all. It's completely okay to not become to not be a sarcastic person at all. But important is that you should know where you stand, and you should know that where do you dream and aim to be. So I guess it depends. It's very much person specific, but yeah, it depends upon how better can you create an impact. And if you really have a knack of it, I think that's all you need.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
takeaway is that find your own niche rather than copying people. So if comedy is working and you are not good in that, rather than you should focus on what you are good at. because if
Yes, very
something is
true.
trending in market, it is not so if something is trending in market, it does not mean that you will also be able to do that, because though
Yeah,
it is,
very true.
yeah, Kinjal, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was yeah, that's what that it's very much important. And see, overall the bottom line is that we all are here to to aim for becoming a brand. Social influencing is the first step towards becoming a brand, so I want to share a very small inspiring sentence that had created a major mark on me. So back in 2016, I came across a sentence that it almost takes 1,000 days to be and reach where you are today. And that stands true. It has stood true in my case as well. I almost took 3 years to be where I am and to reach what I did. But then this process is like, it's time consuming. It involves a lots of research, and because if you focus on being there forever, you really need to do a lot of research. And social media is not just a platform where you just come, smile, do something funny and weird, and you just take the game away. It is about how are you going to get that, get the bread butter rolling out of it. Because I am very practical. For all those who don't know, I am a Gujarati, and we Gujaratis are naturally blessed કે જે ધંધો કરતા આવડતું હોય. એટલે એ ધંધાવાળી વૃત્તિ અને બુદ્ધિ એ હોય જ. અને very honestly, I always looked onto my work like that. Whenever, so the first reaction that I saw when I got, oh my god, these many followers, was only two things: that how can I reach out to those people, helping them. So the only the easiest way for me to help them was to inspire them by smiling or by posting some positive content. And second thing was that okay, I can also make money. Then why not? Rather than investing in buying the followers, why not make money out of it? So that's been the mantra.
Yeah, so I think it is a very good approach. And when you said being a Gujarati and these all things, we just got a lot of likes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So let me take few more questions and then we will move ahead with the present. So Abhishek
Yes.
Porwal has a question. So he wanted to understand more about storytelling and how can we use it in a better way.
Okay. Just a second. Yeah.
Kinjal, hello. Yeah, you are not audible. You just repeat. I think she has major connectivity issues today, but no issues. We will take more questions. Yeah, Kinjal.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
So,
Okay. Awesome. Now I also have the access to share the screen because my screen is no more being locked up.
okay, great.
Okay, so let me show you something. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, we are able to see it.
okay. So, can you see what I'm sharing? I
Uh,
doubt.
we are able to see the folder, Kinjal,
Okay, okay, okay,
not the image. So if you can stop the share and again share it with the full screen, I think that will be helpful.
okay. See, guys, this is what social media helps and teaches you. I have no,
So
very honestly.
we got comments. It is Windows 7.
Oh, yes, and I'm really sorry for that. I'm not at all the kind of person who would use a laptop either ways.
Yeah. So nowadays that is the issue. A lot of things happen on phone, and it is very easy for people to access it. So a lot of our users also are on phone, and they are accessing this through phone. So
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
it has
And
become our primary medium in a lot of cases.
oh, yes, and I still don't know how to share this, but let it be.
You can click on the screen share option at the bottom. The button is
I
there.
did that, but यार
Okay.
वो जो image को मैं select कर रही हूँ ना वो नहीं मिल रहा है.
Okay.
If, yeah. This one. Okay, I got it.
Hmm.
Yeah, can you see now what I wanted to share?
Just a second. It's loading.
All right.
If everyone is able to see, can you do a thumbs up if they are able to see? Okay, nobody is able to see that. So maybe we can.
Okay.
You can explain us.
Okay, fine, no problem. So, what I wanted to share here to you as your answer, who did ask this question? I'm sorry, I lost his name.
Abhishek asked the question.
Yes, so Abhishek, a very small and simple example. If you might have been following Ranveer Singh on the social media platforms, he recently did a campaign with Nutella where he वो न्यूटेला के fonts में it was written Simba. So Simba ही लिखा हुआ था, but it was in the color and size and fonts of Nutella. Now I think so that was basically the picture that I was trying to share. So I think strategies like such, when you want to design your content, when you want to learn the art of storytelling, I
Yeah.
think you have to be very much aware about what do people like about you. For example, in my case, they would love if I have a picture of mine rather than a brand, of course, right? So what I do is I want to make that brand or that product as a part of my picture. That way what happens is you still can attract those likes. Your content is still somewhere down the line sellable, and along with that, you can gain the likes and the reach and whatever it was intended to. So I guess the techniques like these, the storytelling, the designing, the concept, that how do you share it, is very much important. And let me tell you one thing, that when I started on social media, I was a one-man army for a quite a long time. And so eventually, when social media starts bringing and yielding you the results, then the time comes when you can hire that team and those people who can develop those contacts for you. So then you are no longer, that one person, because we have other things to do as well. Baba, this is my, parallel field. But what helps us then is, as you make your force bigger, it is a better reach and better formation of content that you can do to yourself. But as I said, that for the starters, the art of storytelling is very important, in a way that you have to be a bit quirky about about reaching on to your audiences. And for that you need to know that तुम्हारी audience को क्या पसंद है, why do they follow you or your profile. So yes, R&D, a lot of R&D.
So those of you who are thinking that just posting good pictures will fetch you likes, here is the example or the
It does
person.
not.
So you are hearing it from the horse's mouth that it is not the case. There, so everybody who thinks that yeah, char photo dal di, you have a good looking face and you will get good likes. That is not the case. A lot of R&D goes inside it. You will have to study a lot which kind of photos are working, which are not working. If we are placing the product at 30% of the whole screen, is it working or not? Let us make it
Very
40.
true.
So those kind of a lot of A/B testing also happens just to understand that fact. It is not so whenever everybody sees okay we are posting something and we will get like social media is very easy. It is not the case. A lot of
That's
goes
completely
behind.
not the case.
Yeah. So we
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
Gitanjali. Yeah, it is Gitanjali. She is asking the question: what do you think about associating with sustainable local brands? An initiative as a voice for change and to create a momentum. Um,
I
uh,
love.
yeah, with every campaign.
Yeah,
So
as I said that. Sorry. Yeah, you go ahead,
So
Sai.
that was the thing. So like Shraddha Kapoor was there on the streets for the forest which was being cut in Bombay and those kind of things. So is there a way that local issues will play a lot of important role when we want a good fan base or the fan base which is your fan base in that way? So you were saying something on that.
Yes, so I think it does matter a lot that the local issues should be brought upon on your profile. But then see, it is again the perception of the influencer. For example, let's consider the current pandemic, which is there around. So there are a lot of people who are trying to make a very good use of the time, and they are posting and sharing things which are very relatable and relevant to the current scenario, and they are selling their content and gaining lots of likes. But then again, when you actually involve with the localities around you, you want to make sure that you are really, really very much apt on the information. You cannot afford to misguide any of them. Right. So I think when you talk about the local issues, when you talk about, so things like that require a very strong stand of you, like saying something. So you can फिर तुम पलट नहीं सकते. So
Yeah.
the basically, if you really are keen and if you're really there to bring out a change in society, definitely you should. But if at all you do not have, the whole homework and that deep information, I plainly, what I said on my social media regarding the lockdown was, when it was announced that you gotta stay home till 3rd May, and
Yeah.
that's how the lockdown is planned. That was it. So you just convey the very simple, honest, and straightforward message to your audiences. But if you involve into things which are going to later cause any of the controversies, either you have that courage and that firmness to stand for your words, or you simply not, like बहुत deep में जाके, या you don't want to touch what is pretty much fragile. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
Sure. So just
Yeah.
adding to that, Amitabh Bachchan and Kamal Hassan plus I think Rajnikant sir also had to delete some tweets and few things that they had posted. They got a lot of backslash also for a few things. So
Right.
this is something that everybody should understand as a brand. Also, sometimes brands don't take a stand or don't are not very vocal on few issues because they, as a person, also sometimes don't feel like doing that, and they do not want to misguide their audience in a way because they have
Right.
the power. So in Spider-Man, it was said, with great power comes great responsibility. So in a way, by being silent, also they are being a bit more responsible in that way,
True. True.
because a
True.
lot of people blindly follow whatever they are saying. So somebody like if Amitabh Bachchan is saying something, or in South Rajnikant sir is saying something, then everybody will be like, okay, if he is saying, then it is true. Those kind of things. And there are blind
Yes.
followers of each influencer has their own core, which is a
Yes.
blind follower of whatever they say in that way.
Exactly, and not like I'm not against the whole the whole country, the whole lot of countrymen we have. But then let's face it, that there are a lot of people who actually, as Sahil is saying, who actually buy what you say without using their own logic, without, because see, not everybody is as resourceful as we might think of. So उनको सीधी भाषा ही समझ आती है, तो अगर उनको बोलोगे प्लीज घर में रहो, that is it. That's how they understand. And still I've been looking at the videos that have disturbed me so much, that यार इतनी simple बात क्यों नहीं समझते हो. But so the idea is exactly that you know uh, we can be quiet and just convey what we are supposed to, and which is very clear. And also, this reminds me of one point that I wanted to add on to being an influencer, that also your language of the language you communicate with your audiences on your social media platforms has to be very layman. That's how I've felt. So the captions that you use, the write-ups that you do, also has a lot of impact on the people and on the viewers. लोगों को यार complex चीजें पढ़ने देखने में कोई interest नहीं है, क्योंकि already सब लोग अपना complex काम करते हैं, complex जिंदगी जीते हैं. So there are a lot of things that they all which are already complicated for them. So simpler the content and clear to, like as clear and straightforward it is easily understandable. So I guess we might not want to use very long fancy English words
Yeah.
when, or any other language. If you really want to show the philosophical angle of yourself, which I see and read a lot about a lot many people, but then I have one clear funda that philosophies unki chalti hain who have proved themselves successful. Today, when we talk about the quotes, when we discuss and read about the good quotes and the good thoughts, why do we read the quotes about the famous people? Because they had the audacity to become famous. So save your philosophy for now and save it for the later time when you eventually become a big name. But tab tak keep it simple and keep it clear.
Understood. Okay, so we will take few more questions, and we are already past 7:10.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, we will be taking question and answers, and then we may end in next 5 to 10 minutes.
All
So
right.
yeah. So Vaidehi has a question. How
Mhm.
you ever have you ever thought, or do you have plans to associate with social or environmental entrepreneurship? So as you talked about Akshay Kumar.
Mhm. Oh yes, why not? And in fact, like right now we are my company now that that has like a very good and beautiful initiative, something that we've not been able to do so far. But as I said, that there was a time when there were I it was a one man army from my end, so it was really not possible to reach out to a lot of people who might want to associate with me. But now the team and the family is becoming bigger and bigger, and I
Yeah.
think that's how it goes for everyone. And now we actually look on to the first immediate next step we look on to is doing something for the old age homes and spreading something about the old age people around us. And of course, we have the whole initiative planned in a way that there are a lot of senior actors who have like entertained the audiences for years together.
Yes.
So why not bring all of them on the same platform and do something with them for the people who are there in the old age homes. So again, there are the animal safety issues. There is this beautiful trust running in the city which takes care of the animals, and they are always there at the service 24/7. So we are been talking about a lot of environmental and human issues, and the organizations that just deal with helping, because once you have a good name, you always can encash it in a very good way.
Yeah. So it is up to you how you want to utilize those in future. So like Bill Gates is also doing a lot of work in the. He has the cash and he is now implementing it on a in good use. So, but
Yes.
for that, I think you will have to get that cash in first place, or you will have to get that liberty.
Yes, and this is basically we are talking about empathy here. A
Yeah.
person who has an empathy for the society is always a person who can afford to stay grounded no matter how high he goes. So my idea of doing a charity, or my idea of helping someone, only exists because that keeps me grounded for the starters. And again, when you do something good to the society, to the surroundings, it inspires the other people to do the same. So the good things are very viral
Yeah.
for the
Most of them
information.
are viral.
Yes, good things are viral, and we have to make the most use of it.
True. So Bhargav has a question and Virag has a question. So I think we can combine those questions. Bhargav's question is: does marketing products on social media really increase sale of the products? And Virag has a question: do you think in near future businesses will flourish with the help of social media only?
What was the second question?
Second question was: do you think in near future businesses will flourish with the help of social media only?
I think it will, and I think it should, because the way the whole lot of world is going crazy behind social media. I mean, look at anybody; he or she might be having a phone in the hand, and पता नहीं पूरा time क्या stalk करते रहते हैं, but हमको यही यही stalking का advantage लेना है. So, and I have seen those insights that nowadays, we also do the campaigns and the collaborations in a way where you can actually see the insights. Okay, agar if you, for example, use my code and get so much percentage off on your purchase. So that's how you understand your effect and on the market while studying the insights, and I guess that helps us a lot. And there are a lot of people who actually, as I said, that they blindly follow. So for example, अगर तुमने यहाँ से ये खरीदा है, they want to buy the same thing, and the best part is they love flaunting it too. So sometimes it does happen that the ये वाली same t-shirt मैंने भी खरीदी थी, and they will post a picture of themselves, like tagging the same thing.
Yeah.
So when again, when as I said कि ये जो collaboration वाला, the when you give your code coupons, your name codes out, people do shop on that, because you have to understand that social media gives you a wide range of audiences. So say for example, out of even the total of say 20 to 30% of audiences also follow you, I think that is also a
Good.
very another, yeah, good prospect, because social media के अलावा nothing exposes us out too much out in world to so many people at once.
Great.
So I guess yeah.
So let us take this as the last question.
Okay.
It's a good one. Soumya is asking, being a popular social media influencer and especially being a woman, uh,
Hmm.
you must have encountered a lot of negativity on social media
Hmm.
also. And how do you deal with that in that way? So there will be a lot of. So we have seen around that people abuse a lot, and then there are a lot of hate speeches and those kind of things. And people write any. So social media has given a mouthpiece to everybody. So everyone
Yes.
has an opinion, and first they used to keep it to themselves. But with
Mhm.
the internet
The
in their hand, they just
freedom
go
to
and
express.
yeah, so they don't know that in which way the other person is going to read it or what impact it is going to have. But there will be a comment by them. So how do you deal with those things? So or does those things impact you?
See, basically, very honestly, I'm going to tell that they just make me stronger. I tell you how, because I am a science student, and I apply science into all the logics that I deal with in my life. If you know, if you've studied anything about metals, have you noticed that it is easier अगर अगर वो pure gold है तो वो जल्दी पिघलता है. अगर वो impurities वाला gold है तो उसको पिघलने में थोड़ा सा वक्त लगता है.
But
So now what how I look at it is that all the negativities that bring you down on social media are just those impurities which are going to make you stronger in the end. Because it is very important to to look at it that way because uh, being a social influencer does take a big toll on your mental health as well because all the time leaving the physical world behind you are always in the virtual space, so yeah, it is going to take a toll on you, but rather than waiting for that to happen, you can already start taking from the day one that take all the negative comments as the impurities, and there are some critical comments that teach you a lot. So, and basically, yeah, in the end, you are a salesperson. So if you can, you have to keep selling till you sell. You are able that till the time the customer buys your pen. If he does not, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं कल सुबह उठ के वापस सेल करेंगे. So I think that's a very simple attitude and look out towards it.
yeah, so don't be disappointed with the things that are happening.
That
So
does not
one
matter. Look, stand in front of the mirror and just be happy about. Oh my God, I'm fantastic. That helps.